Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is June 20th, and today's episode is going to introduce the newest member of the Rocket Fuel community. We're also going to be talking about flat money and how they're hyping rETH. We're going to be talking about an open question in the community about the GMC funding Rocket Lend, and we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of other things. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
So we're going to begin with the newest member of the Rocket Fuel community, and this emerged yesterday, I think a little bit before we were really expecting the news to come out, but this Samus shared a tweet from someone called Rocket Tool, and their @ is RF Intern. RF Intern, of course, is Rocket Fuel Intern, and they said, celebrate Juneteenth and the 420th episode of Rocket Fuel by exhaling a fat joint onto your local police officer. Tune in to learn about flat money working with the rETH token, tokenomics posts, and from non-shit posting community members and more. So if you actually go to the Twitter account, you'll see that the Rocket Tool here is basically the Rocket Fuel logo, but they've scratched out fuel and put in tool, and then this is the RF intern. So Rocket Fuel now has an intern. This intern's job is going to be shitposting and memeing, and also putting out recaps of the Rocket Fuel episodes, and there will be cutting out like video clips and little summaries and stuff of the episodes. So it's actually going to be it's going to be useful as well as shitposty. So if you have a look at some of the things, like, there's retweets of like flat money stuff that we're going to be talking about. There's just like general Twitter banter, crypto Twitter banter, and then there's retweets of what kind of bags you should be focusing on. Like, start focusing on value of your bags and start focusing on the value of the projects you're invested in. So it's like good shit posting, but then there's also like funny shit posting. So it's like, you want to dunk on these hardworking nerds doing good faith work on a genuine crypto project. Equitable tokenomics is for tryhards, and then that's the link for like long for wisdom stuff from yesterday. But also like memeing with pictures of me with hat, and this is yesterday's Rocket Fuel, the only thing bigger than today's hangover. And then also are you betting on non-RPL alts that have a ton of locked venture capitalist capital? Have fun. And then there's like meme with it. So I think this is going to be a really fun account. I think the intern, I was inspired by Dave, the founder of Rocket Pool, and how he's got an intern locked in his basement. I thought it was my turn to have an intern locked in my basement and just like getting them to churn out shit posts. So I'm really excited about this account. I think it's actually going to be useful. If you don't have time to watch Rocket Fuel every day, you'll be able to find summaries of the episodes here. You'll be able to find clips of like stuff that the intern finds interesting. So hopefully there'll be useful nuggets of information coming out of episodes and finding their way onto the Rocket Tool account. In the next couple of days, I'll make a bit more of an effort of getting people to follow this account. So you might see me shilling it on Discord and on my Twitter as well. So please give it a follow. I don't ask for follows for myself, but definitely give the Rocket Tool a follow. I think it's going to be a really fun thing to try out and see how it works with the community. So yeah. Okay, flat money. Like, we talked about flat money in yesterday's episode, I think, and how they're kind of on a push to talk about rETH. Maybe it was the episode before, actually, but I talked about flat money recently, and flat money have like really stepped up their publications and like their news of rETH getting out there. So here in one of their tweets from yesterday, they said, or from actually a couple of days ago, they said summer of Rocket Pool on base educational series. So they're saying our Rocket Pool is taking off this week, so it's the perfect time to talk about how to bridge base and where rETH liquidity is within the base ecosystem. So in today's Rocket Pool base thread, we'll be reviewing Super Bridge app, a bridge balancer, and aerodrome. Let's start by reviewing bridging. So this is how to get your rETH onto Base now. So they are using the Superbridge app, and they kind of talk you through how to do that. And it says, you get you can bridge to Base and back from Base as well. So it's Superbridge and brid.gg. And then they're saying like, deposits take about 10 minutes and official withdrawals take 7 days. But using bridging solutions, you can get back quicker. And then there's more information as well about this is one of the cool things they're doing. So they're doing rETH Base bridging rebate program. So if you move your rETH to Base, they will cover your gas fees. So they say, as part of the grant we received from Rocket Pool's Grants Management Committee, we are providing rETH holders with RPL rebates on Base for any gas costs incurred for users who bridge their rETH to Base until the end of July. So this is going to be going for the next 6 weeks, which is really amazing. So they're really trying to drive rETH to Base, which is awesome. It says to receive a rebate, use the Google form below to share your bridging related transaction hashes, and we'll process RPL rebates on Base every Monday while the program lasts. And they're saying that we've allocated 144 RPL for this Base bridging rebate program. So that, of course, works out to be a few $1,000s with the RPL price going up. So that's really awesome. So now what happens if you're already on Base, right? So they've got an answer for that already. They said, if you're already active on Base and want to use a decentralized exchange, DEX, to swap for rETH, you can find the largest rETH liquidity pools on Balancer and Aerodrome. Together, these two DEXs provide $3 million plus in wrapped ETH and rETH liquidity on Base. So if you're looking to swap, that's the place to go. And then they said that, just holding rETH in your wallet gives you rewards of 2.82% APR. And then said next week we'll talk about the many ways you can use rETH in Base's DeFi ecosystem. And then they've got another post here. So that kind of explains about the rebate program that we just talked about. And then there's a little bit of a tease here about using rETH. So you're telling me that you can earn 238% APR, and that's in the wrapped ETH, rETH, Aerodrome pool on Base. And you can bridge rETH to Base and get a gas rebate for your bridging cost in RPL. The summer of Rocket Pool on Base is kicking off strong. So this is like some really cool promotional work that they're doing. And I think people are starting to pay attention to it. So I replied by saying phenomenal. Jasper was like, hot damn, that 283% returns is pretty damn sweet. So let's actually have a look on the Aerodrome Finance website and see if it's still holding up. Actually, it's asking me to connect. Let me see. I've never actually done this before, so let me have a look. Confirm. I'm going to switch to Base. Okay, sign in. Okay, signature requests. Yes, I've read the terms and requests. That's all fine. But let's see what Aerodrome are saying. So we have liquidity, maybe dashboard. Let's have a look. Loading the pools. Let's see what their rates stand at right now, because that 238% is the kind of thing that it's not going to last long. It's actually taking a minute to load. So maybe we can come back to that and have a look in a minute. Okay, so moving on from that, we've got Schifrin, who of course is the Rocket Pool GMC administrator, and he says the GMC is seeking feedback, seeking the community's interest, the Rocket Pool community's interest and feedback on the potential future lending project called Rocket Lend. Please share your thoughts and ideas here. I've mentioned Rocket Lend a whole bunch of times at Rocket Fuel, but there's a quick little summary that Schifrin gives. He says, Rocket Lend consists of a single smart contract, the Rocket Lend contract, used for all interactions with the protocol and designed to be the primary and RPL withdrawal address for Rocket Pool nodes that borrow RPL from the protocol. The protocol participants come in two types. There's lenders who supply RPL to the protocol and borrowers who borrow RPL from the protocol to stake on Rocket Pool nodes. A lender is a unique identifier. When they register with Rocket Lend, they provide a withdrawal address to which funds from the protocol will be sent, and that can be changed. A borrower is identified by a Rocket Pool node they are borrowing for. They also have a withdrawal address which can be changed, to which their funds are ultimately sent. It says you can read more about Rocketland and how it works over here. And then there's like full information. So now the questions that the GMC has are, would you use Rocketland? So the options are yes, both before and after RPL staking is no longer a requirement with Saturn. Yes, but only before RPL staking is no longer a requirement, but that's before Saturn. And it says no or unsure. So I would vote yes. So here we have around 71% of people who are voting yes, they would use it, and 30% of people saying no, they would not use it. And then the next question is, if you answered yes, what would you use it for? And I would use it for, actually no, that's wrong. I would use it for lending, not for borrowing. So it seems like most people who've answered so far, 80% of people would use it for lending. So they want to make their RPL more attractive. And it said, if you answered borrowing, which applies to you, would you like to top up your rewards or stake for a new mini pool? And the person said stake for a new mini pool. So those would be the two major options, I guess. And then it said, if you answered no or unsure, which features or components would you like to see that would change your opinion about the platform? Please comment below. So this is like a information gathering exercise that it would be really interesting to get information about this. I think this is mostly geared towards people who are already in the Rocket Pool community. Of course, you need to have a forum account to be able to answer these questions. So that definitely limits some of the audience. I think what I'll do is I'll make a post about this and put it on Twitter and on ETH Finance and try to gauge some more sentiment and ideas from there, because I think this would be a really, really great tool. It's something that I'm definitely supportive of. But not speaking as a GMC representative, just talking as a Rocket Pool community participant. But yeah, Aerodrome isn't loading for me, so maybe you guys might have more luck with that yourselves. Sorry, Aerodrome. Okay, next we have this update from Halulu and Nick. So this thread here is the website feedback thread. So this is where, if someone's having problems with the website, they have the design ideas, content ideas, etc. You can put it in here. While Halulu was interacting with the website, he was interacting with the stake.rocketpool.net part of it. And he said, I had an idea. This list is getting quite long. So these are the different things that you can do through the stake.rocketpool.net website. This is getting quite long, which is nice from a functionality perspective, but it may be easier to use if these were tiles similar to the balance and address info that appears just above that. You could do 3 per row. That way they take up less vertical space. So this was responded to with a cheers emoji by Nick, who is the Rocket Pool front-end developer. And Nick says, we noticed this too. And with all the new features, it made more sense to extract them to a dedicated node management website. We're putting the finishing touches on it as we speak. So we got a nice little sneak peek of, well, not a sneak peek, but a little bit of breadcrumbs alpha drop about some developments that are happening with the Rocket Pool website. So hopefully in the next few days, we will have a nice new stake.rocketpool.net site, or maybe if not a site, then components of it. So I'll definitely let you all know how that looks once it's done. So thanks, hello, and Nick. Jasper put out a tweet saying there are 2 and only 2, and one is significantly more decentralized than the other, tagged with rETH, and this was the content of his tweet. So let me see if I can change my screen so you can see more of this image. So the image says market share of LST volume, and this is from Blockworks putting out a research piece that was like in favor of Lido. And in this, basically what they show is that across the major LSTs, so you have Swells ETH, rETH, Frax ETH, CB ETH, and ST ETH, 80%, around 80% of the volume that happens on the market is Lido's ST ETH, and then about 10% of basically all of it that's remaining is rETH. So that's why Jasper says there's only 2 of them, and one of them is way better than the other, obviously, like it was more decentralized. So if you have a look, this actually starts off a whole discussion in the Discord where Jasper said this is kind of awesome and tagged a couple of members of the IMC. And then Invis says, yeah, thank God we have high sell volume. And then the Joachim actually brought up an interesting point. He says it gets more competitive if you include LRTs, which of course are liquid restaking tokens. And then Jasper said that basically the only one is EtherFi that is really like building volume in the way that would impact the chart too much. But the idea is that rETH is one of the very few tokens out there, especially like with LSTs, that have got any product market fit or any traction. And of course, the idea is that in the next year, we'll be in a position where we can dramatically improve rETH as a product and also help it grow massively. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Okay, yesterday we teased some stuff that Jasper and I were working on, and we talked about how it might or might not work and what's going to happen with it, while deliberately being vague about the Giga Juicy bread as Jasper described it. Well, he put a post in trading overnight saying the dough is in the oven. I repeat, the dough is in the oven. Now we begin the long and unknown wait. And it might be a wait forever because it might not come to anything, which is definitely a chance, but it also might turn out to be something which would be really cool, like really, really, really cool. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. And they got 7 eye emojis by people like Blue AVM, Jackson, Wooden Ship, Ornax, and Seeking Ninja Guy, Samus, and my guy. But then people were asking how long is the gestation period, like usually 9 months. So it might, I think it'll either happen or not happen before then, but it's really exciting. So I'm definitely excited about it, but I have to still remain vague about it. So for that, I'm sorry. Okay, for those of you who put your rETH into EigenLayer, which was a whole lot of you, or tried to find EigenLayer using EtherFi, Swell, Renzo, or other LRTs, you might have been aware that your EigenLayer Season 1 airdrop was made into 2 parts, and the 2 parts were people who directly deposited their LRT or LST into EigenLayer, and then the second part was people who deposited it into an LRT platform, and the second part was people who directly deposited into into an LRT, and they didn't get their points to begin with, their airdrop. So now what's happened is that EigenLayer put out a tweet saying that if you have an LRT, you can go and check your points now, basically. So it says Eigen claims for phase 2, season 1 are open. Check out the Eigen Foundation thread and blog post below for more for full details on claiming your tokens and participating. And it says claim for phase 2 marks the end of season 1. To participate in season 2, you have to be registered. Although don't do that. Definitely don't do that. So with this stuff here, like, you have to be so careful, and we're actually going to be talking about that later. But this is really bad. Like, we're going to be talking about this later because there's some really bad stuff that happened because of this tweet yesterday that I'm going to talk about with you all next. Well, in a few minutes. Okay, in Ethereum land, there was some really big drama that kind of spilled over across all sorts of different communities yesterday. And this was about Kraken. So Kraken had a bug bounty on their program, bug bounty program on their exchange, and they got an email that claimed to find an extremely critical bug that allowed them to artificially inflate their balance on the platform. So what would happen is you could put like ETH into Kraken, you could exploit this bug, and Kraken would say that you've got 10 ETH or 100 ETH or 1,000 ETH, and then when you would go to withdraw that ETH, it would come out of their treasury and it would leave, basically. So this was a bug, but then the drama happened in this tweet thread when you found out that basically the people who are supposed to be researchers and security researchers were actually trying to exploit the bug, which might happen in some situations where they want to do a proof of concept or testing to make sure that everything works. But it seems like they did it a few times, and then they withdrew $3 million from Kraken. And then the drama got even worse when they were trying to talk about extracting more funds to get the money back. So there was a whole lot of like weird stuff happening, and the story got more and more strange as you read it. So this kind of sent out shockwaves yesterday. Zach XPT replies by saying this story only gets more wild as it goes on. And then this actually like a huge drama. So even on my right tab over here, there's I don't know if you can see. Let me actually change the. I think like there's a. Let me highlight it so you can see. It says CertiK's $3 million Kraken heist, white hat or blackmail. So this has actually become like a huge thing where CertiK, who are one of the least reputable auditing firms in crypto, like the idea is that, if there's a bug in your protocol and you want it audited, make sure you hire CertiK if you don't want that bug found. There've been a lot of projects that have been audited by CertiK that have been compromised. So then there was like this big idea that, maybe CertiK were, their researchers rugging their own protocols that they were auditing. Like there's some really like wild theories out there. But CertiK then said, that they came out and said, yeah, we are researchers and this is what we're trying to do and blah, blah, blah. We're acting in good faith. But there's a whole lot of drama there. So I'm not going to go over the whole story because there's so many different takes on it. And especially since this is an Ethereum focus episode today, but definitely check that out. It was a very, very interesting story. Okay, so as you know, the last few days I've been covering questions here from Blue AVM, and Blue AVM says, "Hi Wack, would it be possible to explain things in the upcoming release?" So yesterday we talked about high-level intro to mega pools, max EBs, token changes, ETH-only mini pools, and other enhancements that are going into Saturn 1 and Saturn 2. The next question was about interdependencies of the above enhancements. So Saturn, the upgrade is going to be divided into two parts, Saturn 1 and Saturn 2. And the reason for that is because, like Blue AVM says, the interdependencies between different upgrades. Now, for Saturn 1, these are the things that don't have any interdependencies. They include making ETH-only validators. They include reducing, 8 ETH of collateral LEB8s down to 4 ETH collateral in LEB4s, but we won't have mega pools in Saturn 1. As far as I know. That's right, yeah. Now, what we will also have is ETH-only validators and changes to RPL inflation. However, we won't have an RPL burn or LP or going to voters. Because that will still need to be worked out. It might be that the surplus share will just go into a vault, and we'll figure out later what to do with that. Now with Saturn 2, what that will have, actually this is like your next question, what will Saturn 1 contain and why, and what might Saturn 2 have? So Saturn 2 will happen after Pectra, which is the next Ethereum hard fork. That's scheduled to go live in Q1 of 2025. I think it might be pushed back to Q2 of 2025, just because there's so much in it. Now with Pectra, there are two EIPs that we're paying attention to. One is EIP 7002, and that is the forced exits, execution layer triggerable exits. And the second one is the max EB, EIP 7251, I think it is. That's the max effective balance, which we talked about yesterday, which will let you have one validator with up to 2048 or 1024 ETH. I'm not sure which one of those it is, but I'm fairly sure it's 2048. Now, what does that mean? That means that the forced exits and the max EB is going to allow us to have other things. Now, what will it have? Mega pools need forced exits to allow. Actually, the mega pool idea itself doesn't necessarily need forced exits. It's just sublinear bonding needs forced exits. So I'm not sure how that will play out, but that's something that I should actually go and learn more about. So mega pools is just one, all your validators become one contract, and with sublinear bonding basically means that you can have future validators with less ETH instead of everyone being 4 ETH. Now that might actually be in Saturn 1, but having validators with 1.5 ETH would need forced exits to happen, because at that point stealing MEV becomes more risky, and we need to be able to stop that from happening. The token changes will already have happened, but Saturn 2 will then have the burn, or liquidity providing, or voter share will be decided in Saturn 2, but it might be the case that that doesn't necessarily need any Ethereum level stuff. That will just be Rocket Pool level stuff that's been developed out. and we will have the one of the areas of discussion is, mega pools as a design would require a lot of work from the team. However, Saturn 2 would happen after Petra, which would have max EB. So should we just pivot to a max EB world? Should we try to develop mega pools? Valdorf is of the perspective that we should develop mega pools. Some of the team members, I guess, Langers has said, it might make sense to wait for max EB. That discussion hasn't still fully come about, but yeah, those are some of the main things that will go into Saturn 1 and Saturn 2 and why that is. I think I've answered all the questions, but definitely ask more questions about this if you would like them answered in the next episode. Okay, and finally, I'm going to end the episode with some really horrifying and upsetting news that happened very close to me actually yesterday. And this was about one of my friends who got phished. And I said, I'm so effing angry and upset. My friend just got phished for all his crypto. So this was like right away, when I heard about it, we at the time thought that he had been phished for everything. Thankfully, he hadn't been phished for everything. And some of his crypto still survived. But people started asking what happened, like how was it? I don't want to go into the full details of it, but basically the EigenLayer tweet that I shared with you all earlier, he basically clicked on one of the later tweets that are scam. So this is the EigenLayer tweet, and then this is a scam tweet, this is another scam tweet, this is another scam tweet, and this is another scam tweet, and this is another scam tweet. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you can basically fall victim to this. And we try to put out warnings about this many times. We've tried to put warnings out about wallet security, through Rocket Fuel and other crypto people involved in crypto, about having your crypto on a cold wallet instead of a hot wallet, all of these kind of things. Sadly, he fell victim to this. He had a hot wallet with a sizable amount of crypto on it that didn't need to be on a hot wallet, and he signed a bad transaction, and they were able to sweep a whole lot of his crypto. All in all, he lost $130,000. This is actually a really close friend of mine, like someone I know in real life, I've known for like the majority of my life pretty much now. It's horrible. It can happen to anyone. Please, I beg of you, take your wallet security seriously. Please be careful with what you're interacting with. If you are unsure, ask for help. Ask other people you trust. Lean on them, to ask if something seems like it's real or too good to be true. Please be aware of that. $130,000. He had about 24 ETHFI ETH and about 1,600 RPL tokens. So he was farming EigenLayer and ETHFI, and of course, his RPL that he had that he was holding. He's lost all of that. So it's horrible. It's really horrible. Yesterday, I was angry at the people who phished him. I was angry at him for not listening to my many years of advice about taking wallet security seriously, about thinking every single thing you interact with in crypto is a scam. And it was his turn to get scammed. Even people who have been in crypto for many years get scammed. As like Anthony Sassano a few months ago got scammed out of his OP tokens. So this is not to say that, this is about novices or people who've been around for a long time. This is just about either being careless or not taking the precautions the way that you should have and then getting scammed. So this was really horrible, but please use my friend's lesson as a lesson for yourselves, and please take your wallet security seriously. Like I always say that you should have an ABC system, and A is like your hot wallet. That's where you don't mind signing any trash. You should have way less than 1% of your crypto in that wallet at any given time. The next, that can just be a hot wallet if you want as well. Like it doesn't have to be a hardware wallet, but it should have very small amounts of money in there. Like definitely no more than a few $100s at most. After that, you have a hardware wallet that can be used for interacting with reputable projects and protocols only. If you want to take a position on Aave, potentially, if you want to trade something on Uniswap, it might be like okay to do it through there if you're extremely careful. And then finally, for any crypto that you're not actively using, you should have a safe. It's previously known as a Gnosis safe, or any other kind of multi-sig wallet where you have at least a 2 of 3, if not 3 or 4 or 3 or 5, where ideally, the majority of those signings are hardware wallets instead of hot wallets. So that's how you take care of your crypto, and that's how you minimize the chance of you getting hacked or phished. Of course, it doesn't go to zero, but you take every chance that you can. Yesterday, it was my friend's turn to get hacked. I just hope it's never your turn to get hacked or phished. And you can help that by taking these precautions. So remember, the rules of crypto are that you don't blow up your position. Sadly, my friend blew up his position, and that's horrible, right? There's many different ways of doing that, but this, of course, was one of those ways, and it really hurts. I know that it hurts him tremendously. Like, this was his idea that, he was going to cash out in this next bull market. He was hoping that, he'd get up to a certain amount of money where he could cash out, and he was on track for that. And now that's all gone. So please learn from my friend's mistakes so you don't make the same mistake. I know that he's had heard many stories of people getting phished, of people getting hacked, of people doing things that they shouldn't have done and losing all their crypto, and he didn't heed their mistakes. So I'm imploring you to heed my friend's mistake. This was horrible, and there's no other way to describe it. So yeah. So I'm sorry that I'm ending on that down note. I know that things have been really positive recently, but sometimes you need something bad to happen just so you can protect yourselves. And this was bad. So yeah, thanks all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully with more chipper and upbeat news. But until then, I hope you all have a lovely time and stay safe out there in crypto land. It really truly is a dark forest, and yeah, no fun. But thank you all.